Hi, this is Kelly from Crafty Kellys at www.craftykelly.co.uk. So this is another video on the abstract impressions. I love this set. I think it's just so beautiful. So we are going to have a play around with the flower here. Some of these I'm going to use those as possibly leaves and those leaves to create a nice kind of clean card. We are going to use quite a few stamps, so just a little tip: if I'm getting out a lot of stamps from a stamp set, I kind of get out one of my larger blocks and pop them all on, so then I've got them to hand, so I know what I'm using. I'm going to use a couple of purples, so I've got Grapefruit Groove, Blackberry Bliss, then I've got a couple of blues, Coastal Cabana, and Bermuda Bay. Then green for my leaves, I've got Granny Apple Green and Mossy Meadow. So they're the colours that I'm using. You can obviously do it in any combination that you want. You're going to need a standard size card base in, I've got this in the thick Whisper White, and I've got a layer of white. You don't have to use the layer of white, but I'm using a layer of white because I just think it gives a nice finish to the card. We're not stamping on that, so that is just a layer, and it's actually 10 or is it 5 millimeters in all the way around, so it gives a good border, and we need a piece to stamp onto. We might need a bit more, but that's fine, I'll grab it if I do. But we're going to stamp onto this and fussy cut it out, so sorry for those who don't like fussy cutting. I've got a piece of Whisper White which is 1 inch thick, and we're going to flag end and pop our sentiment on it. So let's pop these bits out of the way so I don't get ink on them, and bring in a stamping mat. So I'm going to start with my flower, and I'm going to do this in the really lovely purples. So I'm going to start with the lighter colour and work my way to the dark, and I'm going to stamp this one off, and then I'm going to stamp and let's get the next one, and we'll go oh, wrong one. We're going to go full strength for this one. Now I'm sure there is a right way of lining these up. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just going to go for it. And then in the darker, I'm going to do one more. So I'm going to stamp 2 of those. There's not a lot of difference between those two colours. Let's see. Right, let's do the next one. Maybe, I think I'll do a stamp off on these two. If I had a, oh I do, I've got Rich Razzleberry I could use. Just trying to line up those triangles, but I don't think that makes a lot of difference. Let's see what this looks like. think I just stamped it in the wrong colour. Possibly. Okay. I think I'm going to stick with the first one. So we'll do. Oh, I'll just cut that one out. That's fine. That's fine. So you're either going to need 1 or 2 of those, depending how many you want to layer onto the card. I'm going to stamp 3 in this smaller flower. Oh, this is a new and very juicy pad. Okay, and now for our leaves. So I'm stamping these together just to make it a little bit easier. And I will position the others on top. Just saves a little bit of time. We need one set. Two, 3, 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then position these on the block. That, and then we're going to go on to our next colour. Sorry if my head's in the way. There we go. So we're going to fussy cut these out, and I'll see you in a minute. So I've fussy cutted my flowers out. I decided to keep the one that I stamped off. I'm sure I can use that. It'll look fine. So I'm going to now stamp the thank you sentiment onto my piece of 1-inch cardstock. I'm going to keep it to one side, and I'm stamping it in the blackberry bushel. Ooh, that's nice rich colour. Then I'm just going to use my banner punch. And we will slip that in. There we go. There we go. So let's start to construct the card then. I'm going to bring in some of the sequins. These are the mini sequins on the strip. I'm going to put dimensionals on all of these. Yeah, that's it. I don't think we need any more. So that's kind of how I want it to lay out. I am gonna. Oh, shall I or shall I not raise it up? I haven't quite decided yet. Folder. There it is. So, yep, laying it up. So I'm going to chuck all that off. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Probably don't need that. I go a bit overboard with them. I don't know if you like me. I end up finding these, the little backs of the dimensionals, everywhere. Just they get everywhere. And because my crafting space is my dining room stroke living room, they do get everywhere. Okay. We will need for you. Oh. 2, 2. There we go. Now I want to stick this down. I'm going to use some double-sided tape. Where is that? There it is. A couple of layers. I put that on and then I'll put a layer on top. I just don't want it to come away. I doubt it would, but I just wouldn't want it to. Here we go. Here we go. I'm actually going to stick my sentiment on first. And then I'm going to tuck everything in behind it. So we want it to go kind of like that. Probably didn't need that middle one. Oh well. And this is going to come in over the top. This one's going to come in underneath. And this one's going to be over the top. Underneath. Move those in just a touch. Okay, and now kind of want to put a little bit of gems, so I'm going to see what colour. Yes, I've got green. So this is the Rich Raspberry dark blend. And I'm just going to colour a couple of these in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let that set for just a second, and then I should be able to get away with putting another layer on just to make it a little bit darker. I think if you put too much, if you go over it too much, it will just move the ink. Don't know if that actually made it any darker, but there we go. Oh yeah, it's a bit darker. Done a dabbing technique, dab, dab, dab. Let those dry, and then pokey tool. One, two, three. So here we go. Nice crisp clean card. Little bit of fussy cutting, so it does take a tiny bit of time. We've coloured in the gems using the blends, which works really well. I love how clean cut this card is, and I'm really happy with the way it's come out. So I hope you've enjoyed doing that card with me today. This has been Kelly from Crafty Kellys at www.craftykelly.co.uk. If you've liked what I've done today, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you did want to purchase any of the items I've used today, you can find more information on my website. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Bye.